It's the 2019 Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a crucial part of the World Championship. Lewis Hamilton could be the world champion for a sixth time. All he needs to do is outscore Valtteri Bottas by 14 points and basically be on a podium, something that he's never done here before in Mexico. Let's take a look at the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship. 2 weeks ago, we were in Japan, Suzuka, at a very weather-affected Japanese Grand Prix. And now we are 2,200 metres above sea level for the Mexico City Grand Prix at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez, a 4.304 kilometre circuit. It was built back in 1963 and its first race as well proved to be a championship decider. This weekend though, it forms part of the Formula 1 calendar, just 4 races to go here in Mexico City. And then on the 1st to the 3rd of November, in just a week's time, the United States Grand Prix at Austin, Texas. Then on the 15th to the 17th of November, we have the Brazilian Grand Prix at Sao Paulo. And at the end of November, and all rounding out on the 1st of December, is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has his first chance of winning a 6th Drivers' Championship this weekend. He leads Valtteri Bottas on 388 points to Bottas' 274. If Hamilton outscores Bottas by just 14 points, he is the world champion. Can he do it? Meanwhile, the battle for third is heating up, with Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel all closing in. Verstappen and Vettel level on points. The gap for runner-up though, Carlos Sainz leading the way on 76 points, Pierre Gasly on 75, Alexander Albon on 64, and then the battle for 9th place with the midfield team, Sergio Perez 37, Lando Norris 35, Danny Kvyat on 34, and now also 34 apiece for Danny Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg after their exclusion from the Japanese Grand Prix results. They are now down in 12th and 13th. Kimi Raikkonen could also join that battle. Then another gap with a 2-horse race between Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen for 15th and 16th. And then we get Romain Grosjean on 8 points. He's battling Antonio Giovinazzi for 4th. Robbie Kubica still only has 1 point. And George Russell, yet pointless in 2019. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, well, with Renault now being disqualified, Mercedes clinched the championship in Japan by just 1 point from what they needed. They are a 6-time Constructors' Champions in a row. Ferrari are battling out for 2nd place. They currently have the advantage, nearly 100 points over of Red Bull in 3rd, so the top 3 look pretty safe. McLaren seem to have got themselves into a safe position in 4th place, but it's the battle with the rest of the field. Renault on 68 points, having no points scored at all at the Japanese Grand Prix with their disqualification, puts them in 5th place now. Toro Rosso promoted up with Pierre Gasly and Danny Kvyat, now on 62 points. Racing Point on 58. Alfa Romeo on 35, they are very much the outsiders of this. They are battling with Haas F1, who's in 9th on 28 points, and Williams only have 1 point from Germany with Robert Kubica. So, watch out for the more interesting battle. That's going to be between Renault, Toro Rosso and Racing Point. Let's get into the first practice report then. It starts off with Lewis Hamilton topping free practice 1, starting off his championship challenging weekend in the perfect manner by getting the top spot. He was fastest overall with Charles Leclerc in 2nd place, a 10th off. Verstappen in 3rd, Albon 4th and Bottas in 5th place. Surprisingly, Sebastian Vettel completely off the pace in the first practice session. Leclerc going for his 3rd win of the season. Verstappen his 3rd win in Mexico in a row. He's won in 17 and 18. Hamilton is playing for the high stakes here at the high altitude Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2,282 metres above sea level, with rain coming in over the course of the weekend is going to make it mighty interesting indeed. There was a short red flag as Lance Stroll in the Racing Point crashed coming out of turn 16 through the stadium sector into the Peltada, hit the wall and brought out the red flag. But curiously, that also brought out the checkered flag. With another glitch in the FIA timing systems, it meant that the session was technically declared over, so they had to shut down the system, completely reboot it, and about 10 minutes later, when the track was completely clear, the session eventually restarted, although the timing monitors were never fixed throughout. Overnight rain made for a bit of a lackluster first practice session. Everyone was out there straight away on intermediate tyres. Then we got some running on the dry tyres as well. But with rain expected for free practice too, and especially heavy rain on Saturday and Sunday, they wanted to save as many tyres as they can for what could be a very wet race. The second, Valtteri Bottas in 5th place as well. A good session for him overall. However, we have got to watch out for Red Bull, who seem to be very strong here as well in the Honda engines. Gasly spun in the Toro Rosso early on as well in the stadium sector. But rounding out the top 10 was Antonio Giovinazzi. Hülkenberg missed out on the top 10 by 0.2 of a second as well. Stroll emerged later on in the session as a unlikely comeback after damaging the side pod, but he was able to go 17th fast ahead of Sergio Perez and Romain Grosjean as well. And George Russell was ahead of his Canadian teammate of Nicholas Latifi, who stood in for Robert Kubica in FP1. Let's take a look at the full times now. So Lewis Hamilton tops the first practice session of 1:17.327. Charles Leclerc is second at 1:17.446. Max Verstappen third at 1:17.461. Alexander Albon in fourth on a 1:17.949. Then we get Valtteri Bottas fifth on a 1:18.005. Sebastian Vettel sixth at 1:18.218. Then we get Carlos Sainz 7th at 1:18.401. Pierre Gasly is 8th on a 1:18.593. Danny Kvyat 9th at 1:18.835. And Antonio Giovinazzi rounds out the top 10 at 1:18.959. Nico Hülkenberg is 11th on a 1:19.011. Kevin Magnussen 12th at 1:19.013. Kimi Raikkonen is 13th at 1:19.205. Lando Norris 14th at 1:19.299. Danny Ricciardo is 15th at 1:19.499. Lance Stroll is 16th at 1:19.679. Despite that hit to the wall, he still beat his teammate Sergio Perez in 17th at 1:19.717. Romain Grosjean 18th at 1:19.850. George Russell 19th at 1:20.548. And Nicholas Latifi is 20th at 1:21.566. Let's take a look then at the second practice, and it was Sebastian Vettel topping the timesheets here in Mexico with a Ferrari 1-3 with Leclerc in third place. Max Verstappen splitting the two Ferraris early on in the session. Then came Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton in 5th place as well, where he's finished in the Grand Prix for the last 2 years in 5th place as well and clinched the title. This weekend, however, he needs to be on the podium and outscore Bottas by 14 points, something that hasn't happened this season, despite the German Grand Prix when he only outscored him by 2 points. So it really is unlikely Hamilton will win the title this weekend. It's just his first chance at it. Can he win it on first bounce as well? Sebastian Vettel topping as well, a 1:16.607 on soft tyres, having used the mediums to go 6th in FP1. The soft of Verstappen took P2 in his FP2 qualifying simulation, just ahead of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc by about 3/10 of a second faster. Albon wasn't the only one to struggle on the shortage of grip, however, because the red flag came out a second time. Alexander Albon, coming into 6 and 7, sort of spun into the wall and knocked off the front suspension as well. It's a question, has it punctured the monocoque as well and the survival tub? We'll find that out later on going into tomorrow as well. Leclerc had a little spin as well. He got back into 3rd place. Bottas had a little bit of an error as well, but it was pretty much a horrible session for grip. The mist was coming over, some rain in the air as well. FP2 wasn't actually great. Danny Kvyat led the two Toro Rossos in 6th and 7th. Gasly followed his teammate closely. McLaren were firm behind either. Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris were chipping each other up a lot during the session as well. Stroll wasted no time making up for his FP1 crash, got into P11 overall as well. 46 laps under his belt. Alfa Romeo covered the most distance as well, just behind Grosjean. But Albon last on the timesheets with a disappointing as he hit the wall, but it was the George Russell ahead of teammate Robert Kubica in FP1 after Latifi was into FP2. Very close, but it wasn't exactly the great usual Friday we're used to. But first time we'll get Saturday running. But let's take a look quickly at the times for FP2. So Sebastian Vettel tops the second practice session at 1:16.607. Max Verstappen is second at 1:16.722. Charles Leclerc third at 1:17.072. Valtteri Bottas is 4th on 117.221. Lewis Hamilton 5th on 117.570. Danny Kvyat is 6th on 117.747. Pierre Gasly 7th on 118.003. Carlos Sainz is in 8th place on 118.079. Nico Hülkenberg 9th on a 118.261. Lando Norris rounds out the top 10 on a 118.349. Lance Stroll is 11th on a 118.362. Then we get Sergio Perez in 12th on 118.366. Daniel Ricciardo 13th on 118.380. Then we get Kimi Räikkönen 14th on 118.681. Romain Grosjean is 15th on a 118.766. Antonio Giovinazzi 16th on 118.889. Kevin Magnussen 17th on 119.306. George Russell 18th on 119.968. And Robin Kubica 19th on a 120.180. And rounding out in 20th place is Alexander Albon after crashing into the wall on 121.665. No time set. Meaningful though in FP2. We'll be back on Saturday then at 6:30 for the Saturday practice review. It looks to be a wet session as well, and let's hope that we get a good qualifying and a great race, which looks to be very wet indeed. Can Hamilton win the title? Well, qualifying tomorrow will be key. Join us tomorrow for practice review. Bye for now.